Welcome to West of Tulsa. I'm CJ Ward. We're broadcasting from Ventura, California. And I'm going to start off with trivia. Do you know what Batman, the Munsters, and the Beverly Hillbillies have in common? What could that be? So we have a pretty full house, and I'm going to give you a hint. Our guests today are related to the great George Barris, who had a connection to all those shows. Besides, I mean, if I'm not saying being common, we know they're all early TV shows. I'm talking, we have to go deeper into what the commonality is between those, right? Okay, what is it? So we've got two relatives going to tell us all about George Barris and his history. I mean, look, if you don't know who George Barris is, that's okay. You're about to find out who he is. Most people do know who George Barris is. And he's had a huge influence on the automotive industry. So, and the best part is, stick around because you can actually own some Barris memorabilia at the end. We're going to explain a piece of history. We're going to explain
automotive
what
history.
That is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, also, something about cuffing. All right. I'm just throwing that out there because you will want to know what that is if you don't know what it is.
And because it's cuffing season.
It's cuffing season. Yeah, that's right.
So-
It's football season and cuffing season.
Cuffing season.
And,
sounds kinky.
It does sound kinky,
Very
doesn't
kinky.
it? Yeah.
It's like pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah. Well, you can hear Christina laughing. She's part of this. That's why she's laughing. So we have Christina Jimenez is back. Thank you for coming back.
Welcome back, Christina.
Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
excited
exciting.
to be a part of this one.
Dan's pushing the buttons.
I'm pushing the buttons. I'm a button
I'm
pusher.
pushing
Gabe
your
is here.
buttons.
Yeah, you're definitely pushing my buttons. So we have Joji Barris, pastor,
That's me.
the daughter of George Barris. And we got Barry, pastor. Thank you both for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And putting up with all of our shenanigans.
It's fun. It's great.
I know.
I've
Next
never
time-
answered the phone once during a podcast. That was the first time that's ever happened.
Well, is also leaving your name off the building a secret
that's
code? Because I almost didn't get here.
She called just before. She's like, we're right. I don't know where I am, but we can't find you. The problem is if we leave the door open on our building, you
The
can't
address,
see the suite
the unit,
number.
yeah.
That's what it
right.
was. We have to fix that. What we need is a big West of Tulsa over the front door, don't we?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
I appreciate Joji and Barry slumming it with us. I mean, they've been used to being on network TV, and then they're
They're
down
with
in the
us.
ditches with us right now.
my
So
God.
we appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, we really
I wore
really
my
do.
yellow jacket. You know,
Yeah,
gotta
we love it.
get that Barris 70s, 80s vibe.
Love it.
Just can't give it up.
Love it.
And we were saying how informal this show is, right? Well, there you go. We just
We
proved
take
it.
calls in the middle of the
We
show.
take calls in the
and
middle of the
that's
call.
pretty informal.
It's
Dan's never going to let you forget
You
this.
should- and that's the thing, Katie. I asked her. I said, "We're in the middle of a podcast." She goes, "Can I just ask you one question?" I said, "We're in the
She
middle of a
doesn't care.
podcast."
It is your fault for answering.
It is my fault.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
CJ,
I didn't think
we have to be authentic to honor Katie because her age group values authenticity,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's very authentic that you took the call
Took
in
the
the
phone
middle of the
call.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There you
Thank
go.
God I don't have fake boobs.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
gonna
for the
be
next
good.
hour.
Authentic.
Oh man, we are so excited to have you guys here.
Ah.
I mean, this is a huge deal for us.
You know,
we appreciate it.
It's really neat to see the passion that you guys have. We've moved up here. We love it here. And we just want to be a part of the community. And we are with drag and Ventura police now and stuff, trying to help each other. And just being here and up here in this area, the weather is great. Trying to reconstruct our Barris shop and garage is a challenge, but it's close and we love it and we want to share it.
You
with
guys
everybody.
moved up to Ventura from
Yeah.
you were in the valley?
North Hollywood
Oh,
for how many
okay.
years?
Wow.
Yeah. We moved and, we after COVID, we decided, why aren't we up here full time?
Cool.
We really feel blessed. I mean, it's really special. We shouldn't talk about it. Then everybody's going to start wanting to.
This way, people have been on our show before and
Ventura's
said how
the
ground
dirty
zero
little
this
secret.
is.
Yeah.
We don't tell nobody because I moved up here from the valley as well, from Studio City,
Yep.
straight here, and I thought it'd be up here a year. That was 13 years ago,
Yep.
so I haven't looked back. So.
And the neighbors were meeting. It's everybody is coming up from the valley or as a second house.
Yeah.
And they just want to be up here more and more. And now we're moving. But that to close down the shop and move, that was really emotional. It was really hard.
How long had you guys been
And-
there?
Oh my God, since the
60
60s.
years? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
1959.
Yeah.
1959.
Because he is centrally located to, the movie studios. So you have Warner Brothers down the street, Universal. I don't know if Universal was, I know Warner Brothers was there, but such history, and that's where, kind of he'd have his client base. You've got Hollywood, you've got celebrities, and he was working with clients and studios. So it was a perfect location.
Wow. So, again, I mentioned it off the top. Pretty much everybody knows who George Barris is. For the few people who don't, will you give us a little bit of background into your dad and how he got into it, into customizing, and where did it all begin for him?
Oh, well, it's old school. So you're talking about Sacramento, and you have amazing builders up there, and these guys were going to town competing in the certain brothers, Teg Nutty, and he's actually acknowledged in the Sacramento a museum up there because they had the certain brothers that were competing and building cars for these hot rod magazines. So at that time, they're almost like, we shouldn't be talking about street racing, but they are. That's how they kind of show off what they're doing. They're coming out of high school. Don't hope my son's not listening. He didn't want to graduate high school because they're building cars. They're making money. I think they're making more money than, finishing high school. And I think for him, he was just the ideas and that things are flowing. And so they started their garage, Sam and George, Sacramento.
And this would be maybe late 40s?
It started I would say, 50s.
Okay, 50s, all right.
And then they were just the customs. So we'll talk about, you're talking about customs now. And so that started there. And then somehow he came, found Hollywood, and he asked his brother to move down. And they're like, he's not moving to that devil place with, his wife. And Sam was so creative and very, making those chop top Mercs is all hand labor stuff. And Galpin today owns the most famous Hero Hata Merc. We can talk about Dave Shutton with Galpin. That's another whole passionate, driven world. But to keep the stories, going, and how you're, start with these pieces of ideas. There was no books. There's no directions. You have to have the idea, and you have to make it happen. That's one of the things he taught me is I don't want to hear the word can't. Get up, get up and get going, and you could do what you want to do. Yeah. So, it's all, real hard labor.
Was he always creative, artistic, even as a kid?
Yeah, and even with my mom and him, everything they did, they were so passionate. Colors, that was the time of just colors, and, you have all these wild candy paint things. Look at the wedding ring this is my mom's wedding ring I talked about, which he designed off the X-Pac car, which was like a space car. So he was even having relationships with NASCAR.
We've got a photo of that, don't we? Yeah. You want to pop that up real quick?
Yeah.
So this is something that was designed. So the ring was designed after the car designed after the ring?
Probably. Gosh, I wasn't even around then.
So
there's the X-Pac car. So when I do interviews or I go to car shows, I love to bring something, of course, the Yellow Jack or something of my parents so they can be a part of it. And he designed so that had to have been done first because he designed his, wife, my mom's wedding ring off of that car. And I'm wearing it today. I brought it today. So,
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of got the wings that go up. So look how young he was.
It's like a manta ray is almost what it looks like.
Yeah.
Was
George
a hot rodder in the 50s? Like when you were talking about up in Sac, was he actually a hot rodder or more of a builder? Yeah,
and they would race cars, but then he would race them down in Culver City too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For pinks.
Yeah. Pink slips, yeah.
But the hot rods. So we own, we bought the Emperor off of the Blackie GGN. So you've got guys from Fresno, and they're all collaborating, which is neat. This is what's neat. Like, I don't know if you saw that motorcycle movie. Back then it wasn't so much about gangs. It's about the collaboration, the brotherhood. So in the car world too, you've got that kind of brotherhood. When he was building stuff, they want to come help. He opened that shop in Linwood, which was a beginning shop. There was a fire, and those were the most famous cars called the a la carte, which is a hot rod, which is the 2-time winner of the Grand National Roadster Show. Wow. So they're building these cars to promote themselves, to get them into these car shows. Oakland, another big show. So they're pushing and creating stuff to get into these shows. That's how they're promoting themselves with the car displays, the mirrors under. You're talking about the engine work. It's gorgeous. But you look at these cars today, I'm like, God, the styles and the designs look so good in person. They look so much better in person. So we have the one called the Emperor.
It's a 1960 AMBR winner.
Yeah.
Which is all original. It was built by all the original guys at the shop.
John
Dean Jeffries, And there was Junior Conway, who's gone on to do the most famous Pebble Beach cars.
Or trying to do candy apple paint shots back then.
Yeah,
and
it's a candy apple rose. And they developed, these
techniques.
And the paint itself.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
so it's all original. And it's in at the Motor Speedway Museum in Nebraska on loan for a couple more months.
And then we're going to have it back. But the Brotherhood thing was when they had that shop in Linwood, there was a fire and it burned down. It was a cool shop and it burned down this famous a la carte hot rod. And he has a tantrum screaming, I quit. And this is what I'm talking about, Brotherhood. And even my mom, George, you get back up out there and you finish that car. And he was heartbroken. He is done. I'm done. I quit. I'm out of here. And then the guys from Fresno that owned the car, all of them came down. They helped him. That car ended up being the only hot rod at the Grand National Roadster Show that won the Lifetime award twice in a lifetime Grand National most famous hot rod. So John Mumford owns that car and the famous Sam's Merc. And those were done by Brizio, the Brizio family. Oh my God!
The Brizios did the restorations.
The work they do,
and John Mumford's collection is above the
in their
the car shop.
It's called South San Francisco. Brizio family, another family. These are families. These are true stories that that the families are involved in. They're teaching their kids but it's a lot of work. It's not come in and color a book. It's sanding. It's getting dirty. It's hours of fabrication but look at it creates. So
it's art. I mean that's
it's art.
Rolling art.
Yeah.
Wow, very exciting. So how did he end up in L.A.? In the L.A. because that's where everything kind of changed for him, right?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Hollywood and TV and all that.
I think he was driven to kind of get it more expanded down, and his family would help him buy properties, and they're two little people working, with nothing and saving. So the one family member on his side would find the property and think they would borrow money, and that was right on the corner of Lancashire and Riverside. And I remember the bank build just from pictures and stuff, like the old pictures. He'll be doing his shots of the Batmobile against a building, but there was nothing else there. But again, like when he tried to get his brother to come down, his brother's wife was like, no, I don't like, that's Hollywood, the land of, the land of whatever. But he died too young. Prostate cancer.
And
Sam.
That was Sam.
Yeah. Very talented. And George was great just as much. A lot of people try to say, oh, he didn't work on cars. Well, yeah, they did. They both had to, but he also had to be the promoter. He was more the personality that he's building, he's teaching, he's documenting. He's got his old Rolodex camera he loves. He was like just the whole scene. I mean, he was the whole working machine because you had to have the cars, ready for these hot rod. And here comes Robert Peterson with the Peterson Publishing. They'd have a car ready for those hot rod magazines that were actually tech, the little square ones. They're awesome. They'd have these little tech things and show you stuff. And, he was blessed to have passion about what he was doing. I mean, how many people could say,
Well, there was a huge mystique in the car industry that Sam did all the work, but it's so far from the truth. I mean, George built thousands of cars, just totally innovative. And if you look at all the designs he came up with, everybody else, copied them. So yes, he was in there deep. But when they had the cars going through production, for timelines and stuff, he had to be more, on the business end.
Mm-hmm. And you're also trying to survive too. You have to do what somebody's asking for. So you can imagine they're starting with these hot rods, then the customs, then the TV and movies, then celebrity cars, then you're getting into the personal stuff. And, who is doing, nowadays they have amazing car builders for the movie studios. But then they just, there's George right down the street, trying to duct tape. Let's talk about that. It's Hollywood. So a lot of people are like, why is this car this way? Well, you only need shots for certain things. They're going to put hours of work into a thing that they're not going to get the interior shots or add them with, the phone and the little buttons. And The Batmobile was the most famous TV car in the world. I mean, he only had 15 days to build this car.
15 days?
15 days.
Wow.
Holy
15
smokes.
daes, and what he would do back then is he would buy these prototype cars for $1. They would be. Who would think? It's like like you're going to a swap meet and you go somewhere to like American Pickers find something. But he would buy them for $1. They're prototype cars. They didn't want them. The dealer, the companies wouldn't want them anymore.
Right. So,
And they were just sitting there. And you would see this shot of his shop in North Hollywood with the bubble top. It was the Lincoln Ventura. Just sitting there. So here they come with this.
The Lincoln Ventura was a 55 Ventura built by Pininfarina for $250,000 in 1955.
Whoa.
And there were like
It
only
was all
two,
hand formed aluminum.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Barry, scooch that mic in closer to your chin.
Hello there.
Get it right in there. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, it might be that, as they say in the
Hello,
Jewish word, that
sports
pickle
fans.
nose. Pickle
There you
nose
go.
there.
There you go. Thank you.
Wow. So he get them for $1?
He got it for $1.
So how does that? I mean,
And can you
I would
imagine?
imagine his margins were probably pretty slim, and at the very
Yeah.
beginning, I would imagine. So that's the only way you could probably pull it off and make the numbers work, right?
Well, I don't even think about that. It's more like just the demand of meeting what somebody wanted. And here they have a comic book, and he's trying to create this look. And at least they already had the bubble tops. He's smart. So he had, those irrigation, your water. What is it?
Sprinklers.
Sprinkler heads
Yeah.
on the back. Has like little.
They were
little-
slick oil dispensers.
I mean, it's like, so some designs work. And then when he saw it coming out of the bat cave, he's like, oh, nobody can see this car. What does he do? Come up with the glow red accents.
Oh, I
which
love
just
that.
made it
I love
freaking
that.
iconic.
Yep.
And who would think all those years he worked with that car, there was, thank God we still have the relationship with Warner Brothers, but at a point they were like, okay, you're going to have to destroy that car, and this is back in the days when, the licensing and stuff is different. Like, we hired you just for this, but you're going to have to destroy the car. My dad's, what? Destroy the bat? I'm going to call the press and all the little kids. And they're like, okay, George, you can keep your car. And he went on to be able to keep it going so many years to the point that we had to sell, which was really hard because my dad's getting older and, you have to have a certain level of care. He's not making money because he's not building. Still going out there promoting and doing car shows. And he's like, okay, we have to sell original Batmobile. So we go to Barrett-Jackson. And that was the most exciting car auction sale.
Yeah, we got the world record from the Guinness World Record for the most expensive star car ever sold. And a year before...
What year was this when it was sold?
2014.
13.
13. Okay.
Oh, pretty recent.
So the year before, we were at RM Auctions in Monterey, and the Goldfinger, or the gold
James Bond.
James
Oh,
Bond.
yeah.
So-
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, correct. Yeah.
had that record at that time, so we took
Yeah,
that
so
one.
we beat it. So we beat that, but George, my son helped promote that. It was a week-long promotion. It was, I mean, Craig and Steve, when you looked at that auction, it was like a cult. And I've never in my life seen packed. And like the car literally going up the stage, you couldn't even, I mean, packed with people. Everybody was dying to see
How
what
exciting.
was. So it ended up going for 4.6, but that means with commissions on both sides.
Right.
And, because at one point we're on stage and they're like a no reserve auction house. And they kind of stopped it. There was a flip of the coin, but they look at us and they're like, do you want to drop the reserve? And that was at $2 million. It was the most exciting thing to watch. And I'm up there going, here's my dad. Oh, this is fun. And I'm like, this is fun. I'm like, no, because I was like, I knew at a certain point going in, like taxes, you're going to have to pay, 40%. I said, nah, I'm taking it home. We will. I looked at, we'll take it home. This is not worth it to me, And then all of a sudden, it just kind of shot up. And
Who ended up buying it?
Wow.
this logistics guy,
Rick Champagne.
Rick Champagne.
So it's just sitting in his garage somewhere?
Well,
No, he sold
that was
it.
another interesting
sold
story
it?
when he had sold it since then, but he bought it because, and he was a wealthy logistics guy, and he's like, my mom, it's a sad story. These stories in our world, when you're in the car world, you get the most amazing stories. So he's like, when I was a little kid, we had no money, and I came home one time with a toy. I don't even know if it was a car toy or something. And he goes, my mom took the toy and went, you take this back. We need money for utility bills. He goes, so I bought the Batmobile and I'm parking it in my entranceway at my house in Arizona. I'm going to show her. And I was like, wow, this is wild. So you see me and my brother, we're like in it when they're constructing it. But he goes, yep. And he parked it in his... He had a big enough
on a round table in the living room.
No, right when you open the front door, is that big entryway.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
that's a great story.
Yeah.
And your dad passed in 2015, so it'd been a couple years after that, right?
No, 13 was the Barrett-Jackson sale. So it was nice to be able to be with him for that, because that was so hard. My dad, it's me going, Dad, we're going to have to, we always had two. It's like, Dad, I don't know what, it just came to that point. We're going to have to sell, and then it kind of snowballed, and it started snowballing, and then we went to Barrett-Jackson, but the promotion on it, he really liked that. He's a PR whore. It's like ridiculous. It was,
he's known as the relentless promoter.
Relentless promoter. He would do, so can you imagine like how many resources we have today? Instagram, and you can talk, and you've got Facebook, but for him it was all about making these PR we call them paper doll or cookie. My mom went crazy, so he would create these like paper promotional things, copy them off, and send them off to everybody to say, hey, I was here.
Hundreds of copies.
And hundreds.
So all the big guys in the car industry, like Corky Coker. And
we're getting another thing from George.
They have boxes and boxes of...
Wow.
Was he like
but
the
God
first
bless
junk mail guy?
Yes.
That's it, yes.
Exactly.
That is funny.
Who is that other guy?
And don't we have some for sale?
Who's the other guy with the videos that did all the Girls Gone Wild? Oh God. Anything like just to promote, but he's, that's smart. You're going to do, like I said, don't use the word can't.
Well, and his self-promotion probably is one of the reasons, not only besides his talent, but why so many studios went to him and said, hey, can you build this? Can you build that? Yeah. He just promoted himself so well. So some of the other shows, besides Batman, everybody knows the Batmobile. And then there was the Munsters car. And I remember that one. That was probably the first one where I looked at it and go, wow, that thing is crazy. So the Munsters...
Dragula is the coffin car out of the Munsters. The Beverly Hillbillies.
That's what I was talking about.
Well, he'd get involved with certain other kit cars if they came to him and need other things done. There's so many great memories. It just
didn't you do the Monkey Mobile also?
That was a Dean Jeffries collaboration with George.
Oh, okay.
And so, and then again, remember pictures I guess sent you with Sonny and Cher.
Oh, yeah.
Now you've got celebrities coming personally.
So if you want to, why don't we just go through all the pictures, because they're not put in order. So I'll just put them up and you guys just talk about them. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. All right. Hang on just a sec. We're going to go boom, and we're going to start at the top.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's us at car shows. He would autograph. See, he's constantly promoting. People love to have a picture, and then he would autograph it.
Heck yeah.
People. That's a big
those
big
glasses.
Deal.
Every time I think of George, I think of those glasses.
Okay, that's a really good point. Gazelles. They're called gazelles, and he would never let go of those things. I'd have to go, Dad, we've got to get new lenses, and try to find how you're going to get that shape, but. God, they're called gazelles. They're pretty famous.
Pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Oh my God! See,
that's great.
There's the original Batmobile. So that's what I'm saying. As a family, you'd go to the shop. You were involved. My mom's probably schlepping us down there. Oh, there's my brother Brett. He's so cute. But as long as I'm driving, he's got the handle for the beacon light.
Is that car done, or is it still being worked on?
That looks like
tell.
it's it looks like it's pretty done but who knows? Like I said, he was adding stuff and in the inside for shots.
As a kid, who cares? That's your playground. You're playing Batmobile as a kid. How awesome is that?
And at that age, we probably didn't even know. But I do remember sitting in their bed when it became time to watch that show. We were all in their bed with that mean poodle dog that would bite us. And there was like, okay, be quiet, Batman's on, and they had the coolest 70s, 80s house, and we'd watch it with them in the bed, and that was such an exciting time to watch that car, because the sound effects of the car, like, you can hear this motor, and it's like, there it is, there it is.
They did put in like a jet engine sound.
Yeah,
it was totally like a jet engine.
I loved it when they did the speed up to make the car go fast.
Oh,
yes, it was so good. That's so good.
But I mean, how exhilarating, though.
Yeah.
I mean, to build something like that and then turn it on the TV and see it.
Yeah.
That must have been so
for them.
exciting.
I wonder how they were like, that's why they were like, they got to watch it. But so there, that's him. He's just so driven, not a smoker, not a drinker. There's the idea with the glow red outline because the car was lost in the shots. So he's almost trying to think like he's a producer too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, but it was smart. And it ended up being the most iconic combination of paint to this day. I mean, you could take a Kia and put a black with a red trim and it's going to look bad. It's going to look good.
I remember
badass are good.
It's funny that seeing the windows of that shop, because when I lived in the Valley, I wasn't say street racing, but late at night driving around in my Honda
in Mexico.
Yeah. I would drive by the shop and I would be like neck breaking. I'm like driving. I'm like, what the hell is that? The Batmobile? So I flip a U-turn. It's like midnight. Park right in front.
You mean the 360? Yeah. Why don't you tell us the truth?
Yeah. It was a front wheel drive, so I didn't do a 360. But I'm in there like hands on the window, like going, what the hell? What is this? Because I didn't know at the time. I didn't grow up with hot rodders. So. To me, and then of course, you talk to friends, and they're like, "Dude, that's where it was built." I'm like, "Why would it be built here?" And why is there a window here? So you can see everything.
He's again probably promote. He would show his car like a showroom. Yeah. So and those stories, I just kind of want to cry. I tell you, every time I hear guys talk, it's always about looking through that window, and bringing like this freaking their brains alive with. How exciting is this? And I want to be a part of this, or I want to learn. And how a lot of guys came into the shop, and my dad would mentor them because nobody knew stuff. So you're talking when Junior talks about my dad, and this is a major paint guy, Junior Conway, who's painting all of Seinfeld's cars. All he talks about is how my dad gave him that start. Wow. That's all that matters in life.
Yeah.
And one idea, one little start. So he was pretty good about sharing that, and really. That was a lot of the joy. So you hear those stories, it just keeps driving you more and more to want to, stay in it,
That's one thing we talk about a lot here 100%. Is just the passing on that knowledge to the next generation. Yes. Because sadly, I think a lot of it's disappearing. Yeah. So but that generation, they were so good at passing that on.
But every single, no matter what generation you're in, there has to be a genesis of where it all starts. And at least in the car, at least in the cars. I can't speak of anything outside of cars. But in cars, it has to start with somebody giving you something.
Yes.
Whether it be a cue or a handshake or a hello or advice or whatever. It has to start
just sit in the seat.
Yeah. It has to be something with paying it
or maybe
forward.
A good bribe.
Yeah.
With some cash.
I'll take a bribe. I'll take a bribe.
Yeah, the inspiration.
Yeah. The
seriously.
inspiration has to come from somebody else, which means we have an obligation as car people to pay it forward. Mm-hmm. That's why holding back, I talked about this on the show many, many times. This is the last time I'll say it. That's probably a lie, but I hate it when people have something awesome, car, whatever, and they won't share it with the world. They keep it locked up, won't tell nobody about it, won't let nobody see it. And I'm like, you're robbing children of the opportunity to be inspired by something. They could be the next George Barris, the next Chip Foose, the next whoever. You got to share that thing. So that's why I love how all this sparks by one person and goes on to the next and goes on to the next.
Yeah. Speaking about Chip Foose, right now he's found a 53 Buick. Check out the YouTube.
It's a Olds 88.
I'm like, these family had it in their family in Washington, and the dad kept it in this garage. He wouldn't let his sons touch it. They've come to the point now, like, hey, we need to do something with it. It's an amazing to watch Chip's hands and going over that car. You got to watch this YouTube video.
Yeah, and he's posting a lot on like Instagram too. You can see all his updates on what he's doing with the car.
Yeah. And so hopefully we'll be involved with the next one. But just to see him go over, because this is a guy that does the work. This is a guy seeing what's done. Like everyone, you look at it and go, oh, it's nice to look when it's finished. But when you can see the fenders and the flares and the original paint, and he goes, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get it driving. And then they're going to put it in Mecum?
I believe Mecum, yeah.
Mecum?
But the car's been hidden for 50 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it looks, it's like, oh my God. I mean, the designs are just so cool.
Was that one of Sam's cars too? Do you know?
I would think at the time, probably so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say from that era, what I saw, it probably was.
And so these brothers that bought it, they seeked out George. They wanted to go to that Barris shop, and you'll hear Chip talk about it. It's even in a book, like one of the tech books, which maybe you have in your bag I brought for you.
What?
No.
But
do we end the show now?
Yeah, we can.
Thank you and good night.
It's going to be part of our background. It's going to be our new set.
Absolutely.
Anything that's in that bag is going to become our backdrop. So,
but that window is important. But remember Van Nuys Boulevard? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? Oh my God, was that the ultimate?
And I remember
that's like American Graffiti.
It died for a long time, and then they tried to revive it again. Yeah. And when it revived, it was out of control. It was awesome. It was so cool to see, but in a newer way.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But still, you see the old cars come out. Man, it was really cool.
Yeah.
When she was a teenager, she was cruising Van Nuys Boulevard in a custom Rolls Royce.
Yeah. In a custom Rolls Royce. My parents had this brown and gold. This is my life. And I'm driving I drove mini bikes. I drove cars it had a speaker, something that went out of the grill, like a speaker, and you turned it on. So I would put Donna Summers like, love to love you, baby. Oh, really loud, and we're laughing a bit. This was we have so much fun.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'd go to high school, like in those days it was called Valley Girl. It's like Birmingham High School, So I'm going going in these cars, and it's like, these people are like, oh my God, what do you customize Datsun Z or Toyota truck that he was doing as a promo thing. But I would show up in these, customized cars. So it was always getting a lot of, attention then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but for me, Dan, you had popped up Sonny and Cher. There we go. And we talked about that, Sonny and Cher.
Oh, yeah. So, it comes to a point where now he's being recognized. So the celebrities are coming to him because they're like, George, we want something painted, and we want something done. And here they go. And they actually collaborated with my mom too. This is black and white, but you should see the color on these things and the fur interior. But they were involved with them, and they would have these relationships with the client. It was really neat. And they would discuss stuff, and she would bring George, could you paint my Pantera Mod Frisson fuchsia purple shoe? And she would bring him the shoe, and he'd go, yeah, sure, no problem. He would copy the color, and then, he would do, the car that color. But to me, it's about the relationships with the clients. It was amazing to come in there. Billy Gibbons dropping in when I'm working. It's just, I remember a time with Sly Stone. Do you remember Sly Stone? He would come to our house, and I was really little then. I'm like, Mom, I guess I went off to bed, but it was like, why aren't they in the bathroom so long? It's so handsome. Yeah, I am a little kid, and they come. So there were relationships, even with Elvis and Priscilla. Very big story with that, because at that time he had those cars made, and she was underage, so he asked George and Shirley, can Priscilla stay with you? She must have been in Hollywood for some reason. Couldn't stay with him. She was underage.
Wow.
So there is a story that she did, and she mentions she had to stay with our good friends George and Shirley Barris. And so it's about the relationships, and I think that's what drove them to understand what they'd want, or the colors they like.
It just kind of hit me. George was the first Pimp My Ride West Coast Customs guy. I mean, if you think about it, there's probably nobody building celebrity cars before that, was there?
Oh, Dean Jeffries.
Was he before George?
No, same time.
Okay.
Gene Winfield.
But I mean, as far as that kind of
no, he's talking about like the shows,
but that level of extravagant celebrity car builds.
Oh, those was Jay Orberg? Yeah, Jay Orberg was doing some wild stuff with that.
Well, here's a fun fact about Sonny and Cher. People don't know they actually were bald, and those were hair helmets that they were wearing.
Hair helmets.
You guys can believe that? Yeah. I think believe that. No.
I will say this.
Oh, there.
I knew Sonny, so I knew he had hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew him from Palm Springs.
Are we
going to
get fact checked on that one?
Yeah, that one you can do fact check.
I thought you said we could say anything we want here. That's why you got him going. So
you can. But
see the models.
No, that's a great shot right there.
See the models, you guys. So see what a promoter he is. So at the time that he's coming up with the ideas, he's also getting a model maker guy. He would have to call them in to create a model. There's never been one done. So he's working with these model makers to create the actual car.
Well, he worked with Hot Wheels too. I know he did because I had all the Hot Wheels.
Yes,
of that
there was
era.
designers there,
and there was AMT models.
Yeah.
So the first photo we showed, you could tell he had redone the whole front of the car. Mm-hmm. He had customized the front of it, right? Mm-hmm. Those were probably 65 Mustangs, 64 and a half, maybe 65 Mustangs. Yes. Probably brand new that he took and modified.
You guys, you should see the fur that's in there. It's so cool, the interior. Oh my gosh!
Is it only in Cher's car, or was it in Sonny's
I think it was in both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
What color was the fur?
But different colors. I can't remember. They're really
crazy 60s color.
Yes, it was awesome.
It's pretty cool. And you said those sold at auction?
Yes.
Did those?
Yeah, Barrett Jackson, I think 2015. Mark Hyman.
Mark Hyman, yeah.
Limited.
Okay.
So can you imagine back in the day when my dad's collecting stuff and showing it? Now you've got people buying things as art pieces. They're either collecting them for their own personal collection or, turning around and selling, restoring them and selling them and helping families deal with these cars that don't have the experience of, it's not an easy thing to find car restorers and people to work on the cars and get them running. We are working with Dave Schutten and Bo Bachman at Galpin. What a beautiful, we're longtime friends with the Bachman family. It's another family involved with the most biggest dealerships in the Valley, in the world, involved with not only just Ford, but Aston Martin, Porsche, VW. But he has got Dave that when they go and buy these original cars, you've got Dave Schutten who, how many people can have the multi-talents and skills to restore these cars and get them running? He is amazing. And we just feel so, so grateful for them to be able, we have our movie cars there. We have personal cars in Ventura. So the Batmobile, the Munster coach is there. We have a project called The Barrister that my dad did a promo with Bo Derek, who is longtime friends. She's a Santa Ynez girl and a very passionate pet person with dogs and horses. So again, relationships, but I can't say enough about the Bachman family that is keeping the stories going, keeping the real, because they're buying the cars, telling the stories, and Dave is painting them, restoring them to the exact way, no cutting around. I don't know how he does it. I mean, just you gotta look him up. He's amazing.
I think there's a thing to be mentioned about that, because it's not just a car dealership or a car dealership family that has a bunch of cars. They're doing the customization part, because that's what this is all about, really. It's the customization. Anybody can go buy a car off the dealer lot, but to customize it to your own liking, I mean, that's all why we do car things, is that we customize it to our own taste. And I think for a family like that, I went to the LA Auto Show years ago, and that was like the first time they had their own like exhibit of all the Galpin Autosports cars. I was like, Galpin is just building all these cars themselves. I'm like, that's crazy for a dealership, because I knew them in the Valley as like the biggest Ford dealership in the Valley, but here they are, they're customizing everything, not just Fords. And I was like, well, that's really cool. And then they get into the old stuff and the restoration stuff. I'm like, wow. And they're kind of changing the game. So I think it's really, really cool. I haven't seen that really much anywhere else, really, at that level.
The Galpin Auto Speed Shop is amazing. But they also got a Santa Clarita Porsche. So you should see stuff they're doing with the Porsches and the paint jobs. Thank you, Dave. You've got to think a little beyond the box, and Bo is so amazing to want to expand on that. Everybody got back from Pebble Beach, so that's another place where you'll see concept, wild, amazing stuff. Finally, my dad made it there. The hoity-toity Pebble Beach. I'm like, now you've got Chop Top. But when you look at Delahayes and Bugattis, they're the same things that George was doing. Guys with this amazing artwork stuff, creating these gorgeous cars. So now they have classifications now for these customs.
That's cool.
And it's just, because it really tells the story. We live in amazing America. I can't, my dad was always going America crazy, but it's true. We have the freedoms to create and have designs, and it's so important that we have this freedom and to be able to, express ourselves in the way we want, but you got to do the work.
Absolutely.
You can't be lazy. I mean, that's one thing my dad, you got to get in there and you got to do the work, and it might fail, and it might fail. But, you get up, get through it and work through it, and it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
We actually talked about that, I think, with Denise, when we had you and Denise on the show, about building your own car. Because she literally, built her own car. Like, she rebuilt the engine herself, all by herself. She learned how to do everything by herself while she worked at whatever she was working at.
Yeah.
And because, there's a trend, especially with the younger crowd and the more of the import side, you see this they call everything a build. Just because you put wheels and tires and you lowered it, you call that a build. It's not a build. You modified it, which I think is great.
That's accessory part, right?
Exactly. But, you swap the motor out with something else. Whether you paid for it or had somebody else do it, I mean, the more work, more time you put into it, the more you get out of it, and the more customized it is to your taste. And you do what you want. You don't do what everybody else wants, because I know there's a lot of people pleasers out there, but you do what you want, right? And I feel like we need to encourage that more. So it's not about what everybody else wants. What do you want?
But you appreciate it more.
Absolutely.
And you're going to take care of it.
There's some pride when you're done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, look at your neighbor, the Daw family.
The Daw family, amazing.
There's Vicky Daw.
Love them.
And Scott Daw. She's building her own 57 right now.
These are original Oxnard people that are just hardworking and put their own hard time and work. Like I said, it takes a little work, a little hard work.
Yeah.
And it pays off. It always pays off.
Agreed.
Hard work.
Right, yeah.
One of the stories, before we got going, one of the stories you were telling us was about how your father bought the title to James Dean's car.
Well, he bought the wreckage.
The wreckage, yes.
Right.
But you have the title for it right now, is that right?
Yes,
Correct.
Well, I don't know where it is, but
it's somewhere. But you guys own it. So tell that
imaginary.
story, because I think that's just a fascinating story.
Oh God, that story is. Well, every time we would talk to him about it, or people ask about it, he bought this wreckage because, again, the relentless promoter, and James Dean did come to his shop for that last, painting the racing numbers on that Porsche. He was passionate about racing, and he had this Porsche, and everybody kind of on his side were a little bit leery about it because it is a racing car. So he wanted the numbers painted on. They came up with Little Bastard. I think it was Von Dutch that came up with the Little Bastard. He was a little bastard, but he was a lot of bastard. But now I'm going to be struck by the Von Dutch. Oh shit! So I got my cross on. Okay, so anyway, because we're talking about the James Dean bad luck story. So when the car got delivered, they were taking it off the trailer. One of the helpers' legs got crushed. That was the start of the bad luck. Oh. So then they get down, and then it was like with the engine and stuff, bad luck things would happen. So he sold the engine, sold the tranny. When that went off, the man raced it and died.
It was two doctors that were doing vintage racing.
Yeah, bad luck. Yeah. One died.
One died and the other was injured.
Wow. Yeah. Uh-huh. So then he got spooked out, and he goes, okay, I'm going to work with collaboration with the police to do these safety promotional shows, and they can, take you can see this stuff on the internet. They actually took the wreckage of this car, and they had a little signage like, this is what's going to happen if you drive
to the high schools around America.
All around, yeah. And then I guess it was on its way back, and at one point, they go through these scales, and they always weigh them, and at a certain point, the scales were low, and the car never returned.
It was in a 5-ton enclosed van.
Never returned. Like, Dad, why are you not talking about this. Why didn't you? I think at a certain point he might have had a private investigator, but now I'm way too young to understand any of this. And later on, it's like, why do people keep asking and asking? And it's like, and why didn't you do what did you do about this? He kind of never. I don't know if he was spooked out or but that was it. It was gone.
So the wreckage just poof, gone. And then his associate Volo, Greg Graham's, the Graham family, the Greg Graham's put out a promotion because they did promo cars with them in Illinois, and he put out this, I'll pay you $1 million if you find this car. Oh boy! Everybody came out.
Yeah, we found out it was in a Washington basement that had been bricked in. That was the first one.
Yeah, and something about I was smoking weed, and my dad. Somebody told me, I'm like, but the smoking weed. Maybe you're making up your own story, but it was like
it was crazy.
It was crazy. The stories would come out, but it really is still out there, and that's part of the story of the William Shatner Unsolved Mysteries documentary. That's a great one to watch. It's really fun, and I came on and we talked about that because my dad did have that association with the car, and he still owns that body. So, world most famous Porsche.
Someday, I mean, I think someday somebody's just going to pop. Oh, well, remember the Bullet? The Bullet car. Nobody. Yeah. Where is the Bullet car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finally found it.
Found it in Mexico and sold it at Mecum.
Yep.
And look at the history here with that. Was the Brucker family. Mm-hmm. Where's that garage out there in Santa Paula? I love the airport. Yeah. I love it here, you guys. I love the airport. I love the Camarillo airport. But the those hangars, these are real. That's Steve McQueen loved it here. Yeah. That was his place, and where he wanted to be. He was a real car guy, motorcycle. Sorry, Chad, you're gone.
Yeah, we're
gonna
lost
miss you.
Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Chad McQueen.
Well, I mean, obviously you grew up colorful. I mean, it's great memories. I mean, funny stories.
Blinded by Yellow.
Yeah. When you think about your dad, your mom, is there one really funny story that pops into your head where you go, oh my God, where you constantly think of like, that is just such a great story?
I don't know. They just put everything in everything they did, even when they entertained at home and decorating. There was, we were blessed with things they didn't have. They didn't have growing up, and they made it so, it's hard. It's a lot of hard work as a wife and a husband like that, navigating and having to be a team. It's a team. Everything you do in life, it's never the me. It's a team. And I like that they were diverse. I like that they were very open to a lot of things. And I just remember a lot of great, colorful Christmases and, family parties, and they, passionate. They would ski. Everything was always unique and different. They had a home in Big Bear. They loved, they had this Don Johnson Scarab boat. This isn't saying I never grew up normal. I was like, you have a Don Johnson Scarab boat on a Big Bear Lake. It's like,
oh my gosh.
How far are you going to go? A little obnoxious, a little too high powered. And then you have to convert it because it's water. It's lake water. It's not ocean. But, so they would have that, and she loved that place. But, they were always, working together. It wasn't just, nothing was handed to them. Things were given to me that I'm trying to carry on this legacy. I think we were talking about that. And that's, that takes on a lot of responsibility and how you honor something. You have to, you try to do it his way, and, not trying to navigate it for today's way. Yeah. And you also have to have certain resources. So we're kind of still in that transition, and we need to update our website, but we got our Ventura garage, and we've had one garage sale, but now we're going to have the Ventura garage sale. So
I was going to ask you about that. I guess we've dragged people on long enough with that one. So tell us about the garage sale, because this is where somebody could get some really cool Barris.
Really cool, really low prices. It's more about us wanting to share it with people, our legacy, and we have a lot of over stuff that we can't just keep carrying on, and why should it be sitting there? Yeah. And my eye for something might not will might be different for somebody else's eye or somebody else's memory or passion for something. So there'll be toys, there'll be autographed books, posters. I mean, it's so neat what people could do with something. And I sit there looking, I'm like, I don't want that. And then when you see it, somebody else says, wait a minute, I want that back. Get that back to me. It's like, but, really great stuff of, toys and the automotive stuff, car. You'll see that some of the books I got, tech books for you guys, and old things that these are his personal collecting things that, you never know. I think really low prices. We got to get rid of it. Can't store it anymore. And so even if you come by and see the garage, it's awesome. We did a fun job killing each other. Watching him be on a ladder is really sad.
So what's the
next time? Wear some hot pants or something.
That's what all the boys say.
So so you guys opened up a garage here in Ventura. What's the plan for the garage moving forward? Are you guys going to start doing builds out of it, or just is showroom for people to come check stuff out, or what's the?
Probably basically for us, we are carrying on with car shows with Barris trophies. We're involved with Drag Oxnard Police, Ventura Police, helping to promote their programs. The drag program is amazing. When they take,
it is.
Now they have a course that the kids can learn automotive. There's no more automotive.
And then there's Accelerate.
In Charles
Angeles.
Woodruff in Los Angeles, same thing where they're teaching these kids. They're getting them off the streets and going into programs. They're earning credits, and they love it, and they're learning about cars.
Yeah.
And they get job placement.
And they get actual job placement. And you're part, again, teamwork, part of community. We're not dividing ourselves. We're coming together. But, it takes a team like, and bringing you, hey, police aren't bad. They're people like us that have a passion too, and they want to teach you. It's hard nowadays because their parents are working. I remember I was a single mom. I was working all the time. So, here's a place where they can be safe and they can learn about rules and being respectful and earning something. You have to work towards it, and then look what you get. Right. So I love that. We do that with a lot of, we're doing that Ventura one for the canines, so you should talk about
so
that.
The Ventura Police have a canine division, which is only supported by donations. And what a great cause. I mean, they back up everybody in the other cities when they need help. But these are the guys that are protecting our car society, our businesses, our buildings, our collections. When we first moved here, we were only looking for a location close to our house. We never realized that we ended up in car heaven. I mean, this place,
lots of history here.
There is so many private car collections, fabricators, businesses, offshoots. It's just it's
look
amazing.
at Maureen Magnuson. Magnuson Superchargers. They've been here forever. I mean,
Fast Undercar, they're right down the street here. Borla was here for a long time.
Yeah.
Oxnard.
And then there's ARP.
Yes.
Shout out to Bob. For
Yes.
supporting the A and B.
What amazing
Grand
family.
And Josie's Grill, which is amazing.
Josie's.
Tomahawk.
Good drinks.
Yeah, a place. They pour a stiff drink.
Tomahawk and Cosmos.
Tomahawk and Cosmos.
I know, Mr. with the umbrella. I'm like, what the hell?
I have them use, when I have my Cosmos done, I have them use white grape juice so I don't get the crap about, being,
the
being a
pink
dainty,
look.
dainty drinker.
And then he goes like this with his pinky.
But I have
and it's
to
like,
I promise I won't out you if I see you at Josie's. I won't out you, man.
Oh, I'll buy you a drink.
It'll be pink.
no, he doesn't want to be it has to be pink. It can't be too much cranberry juice or
And
something.
just for our listeners who don't know or are not from the area, Josie's Grill is a restaurant in Santa Paula inside of the ARP building where they, manufacture bolts and fasteners and stuff like that. And the memorabilia and all the stuff, it's all racing related. On top of this, probably got the best wine collection and coolest bar and stiffest drinks.
I've never been there. I can't.
Oh
I
my
gotta
God!
go check that out.
Are you serious?
I've never been.
You could have a dating
Car
thing,
girl.
though.
I know that would be pretty cool.
We should talk about that. But that place is a true low key. They don't advertise.
That's awesome.
And only the locals know it. But it's a car person's
That's
heaven.
Yep.
Yeah, because all the decorations. There's a big fat turbocharger sitting next to one of the table.
Yeah.
It's just like, where else are you going to eat with a big fat turbocharger?
Right.
And but the food's really good,
That's
and they do
awesome.
white tablecloth service for dinner, and their breakfast is awesome. And
Wow.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's cool. And if you make friends with the right people there, they'll take you for a tour with a wine glass in your
That's
hand.
so
and,
cool.
They have that whole outside patio now
Yeah.
too.
Wow.
You can do catering. Now I'm going to talk to Bob. He's going to have to, could I get a little breakfast once in a while? No, I mean, literally, we ride motorcycles. So we love, that would be one of our main rides was, to have breakfast there with our motorcycles.
That's cool.
And,
we need to talk sponsorship, Gabe.
Yeah.
We just gave them a huge plug.
Sponsored by Hosies. Oh man.
Oh, I love Hosies.
Another reason why Santa Paula is so awesome.
Yep.
So
cool.
Exactly.
yeah.
One of the things about your garage sale is you guys said you've been going through stuff for 2 years.
Correct.
More than 2 years? That's how much there is that you've been going
Thousands
through?
of boxes.
I actually made the LA Times with that sale. I was like, North Hollywood. So you're talking about when people want to buy these things now, they want you out like in 20 days. We're talking 60 years. We're like, we got to be out. Okay, and this is as is. Okay, I'm out. Like, okay, we had to get, total mover companies that just took the stuff and put it in boxes. The Batmobiles, molds. We have Batmobile molds. You'll see those at the garage. Molds, because you want to. Those used to be stored on our roof, and it's like, oh, those poor things, because it's so hot there. But 60 years just thrown away, packed away. So it took a long time for I have to be there. I'm one person going through every box, and when you open it up, it's like opening up a Pandora's box. You have to make sections of things and.
Can you imagine the emotional memories that come through? You probably remember this, like one thing after another. That's got to be intense.
Right.
Well, it's some of the coolest stuff you'll ever see, but sometimes you'll open a box that's just crap. So she still has to go through that. But there's stuff in here that hasn't been seen in the public for probably 60 years.
Wow.
And you know what? I am not as educated in preservation and stuff. And you that's where your mind just goes, I'm going to blow up, because it's like, how do you know what to keep? How do you know where should it go? Where should it go? Where should it land?
Yeah.
So we are members of lifetime members of Peterson Museum. And that's another great, amazing tool that does have programs for kids and educating kids. And Jay Leno, Bruce Myers, amazing. And Jay Leno is constantly involved with programs that say, let's educate them, because who's going to work on my cars?
Right.
Really, who is going to work? If you've seen some of these collections, Westlake Finish Line, another amazing private garage place, what these guys are doing, are turning them into a personal, collection for your garage. I tried to recreate what I was in every day. And with SoCal Sign Works, we love them. Jason and Teresa, who made all my beautiful signage, like my front window. It's all about that front window, that damn window. So that got broken into how many times?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Several
they would
times.
break it to steal a bike, like we have a bike, or
And they would shatter the glass, which would scratch the original paint jobs.
yeah, because we had the cars.
on a lot of the cars.
Yeah, we have. It's because we never experienced that before.
Yeah.
This is what's starting to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, So we even had that side street painted with the Batmobile. For many years, they didn't graffiti it, but
Yeah, the
anyways,
local gangs would respect the Batman mural on the street that was dedicated to George, but after a while, everything just, went to hell.
I have a question for you. I'm curious.
I won't work on your engines because of my nails.
At what age did he start to really bring you in to work with him and put you to work?
Well, again, I was a daddy's girl, but it wasn't that kind of generation. I mean, I think more maybe my mom. She would collaborate with interior designs on motorhomes and cars, Sonny and Cher cars. They knew John.
Tour buses, too. It was very big, and they were very big in tour buses.
So I came in way later when my mom passed, and he said, I think my secretary's stealing from me. And I'm like, oh okay. You're asking me to leave my job. That's scary because, there was no plan.
Yeah.
So, but we were always raised to respect and go and clean the bathrooms or come help or detail we definitely learned about detailing cars. My first bad experience was when I had a customized Opal GT, like this cool moon, like melon green custom paint job. Here I go. That was like I was turning 16 shift. I was a real girl. Yeah, shifter. I like packed in how many girls in this little car. We're going to Palm Springs, Dad. We go to Palm Springs. And I remember I was down there and, it was party time in Palm Springs. Oh, my God. It was the pools, everybody laying out. Nobody cared about sunscreen, Everybody's laying out and just you follow your friends from one place to another. And here I am in the Opal and you're turning right. And the person in front of me, I thought, turned. And I went, and the Opals are low, and I went underneath the car. Like, oh, shit. I have to go home now. Oh my God. So, I get home, and I walked in the house, and I remember I came home, Dad, I told him about the car, and, nothing happened. It was like nothing happened to the car in front of me. But because of that, do you know how many coats of paint are on? Yelling at there's 20, 30. Because, you can't match that paint because it's kind of a fadeaway, too. I didn't know. I'm just like 16. I'm 11, away from home, far away from that. And I'm like, okay, and my dad's friend looked at him and goes, George, is your daughter okay? Is she okay? Yeah. Okay, then. It's okay, but it was like, for us, it was like, how many coats of paint, because there's a lot of hard work in these one-of-a-kind cars. But, we'd be involved with, certain things, but not so much in the garage because it was rough down there. It was, it's a man's world. It's,
stay out of the way.
And probably some tight deadlines, too, I would imagine.
Yeah. It got intense.
Was he pretty strict at the shop with the guys,
he was kind of, he would be a yeller.
Yeah.
And, Boyd Coddington was pretty bad, but thank God they didn't have shows then. But, you have deadlines and pressure, things didn't work, or maybe they were breaking stuff or having to redo them, and you're navigating stuff. But he still was really appreciative. He loved people. He was diverse. He's just passionate about what he did. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? You got to be able to, not stay in your box.
Yeah.
I don't play in a box. You can't, I don't, sometimes when he's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, oh, no, don't, let's just figure out a way,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, to build a Batmobile in 15 days or whatever.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
You can't be inside of any box. I've never heard. I thought a SEMA deadline was tight, but that's just ridiculous.
Hey, SEMA's coming up. We're going. So, yeah, we do go there. I'd love to. We go to the Hall of Fame, and it's nice to represent Dad. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the Business Women's Network is really amazing, upcoming
I'm excited
women. The woman that bought magnets and superchargers. She's like a big deal at SEMA. And she's a businesswoman. So it's not only people that are hands-on, but if you don't have the other people helping to run what you do and maybe run your office or get you supplies, or you have manufacturing, it takes a team for it to flow. But the best part is just to see all the custom cars and the outside. My favorite parts are always at a car show when you light them up when you leave, and everybody lights up. Or they have that thing at SEMA on Friday night, so they drive. I was like,
the parade, they all come out.
Remember we did that with Billy Gibbons.
Yeah, we did.
And Jimmy Shine.
We drove out with the original Batmobile.
Okay.
And
that was in the SEMA booth, but SoCal and Jimmy Shine were there with their...
Yes, we stopped in front of the bleachers and we got a big cheer.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, and that's where all the builders network. And Chip will be there. Kindig's awesome. Everybody has the coolest stories, and they're so unique in their personalities. Yeah. So, I love it.
That's the whole reason why we're here. Is we love hearing all these stories.
Yeah.
CJ talked about it on a couple shows ago where, he's been going to shows locally for a long time, and everybody's like, hey, CJ, you got to capture all these stories. And that's kind of the genesis of West of Tulsa, really. Yeah. But since we've started this show back in January, we've heard so many stories and we've learned so many new things from people, men, women. The women's stories are really fascinating because I think a lot of people are, they don't realize how much women have been involved in motorsports and in building cars and stuff like that. Not just driving a building, working on cars, wrenching on cars. And we just find it super, super fascinating. There's so many stories, and it's like, I wish we could do this every day. We can capture photos every day because there's so many out there, and we just don't want them to get lost.
Yeah.
You know?
Look at that girl. God, she was the blonde that lost her life racing.
Yes.
Oh, she was so cool.
They have a foundation.
She was on Chip Show.
She was
the land speed. She was doing the land speeds.
Jesse.
Jesse Combs.
Jesse
Combs.
Yeah, they have the foundation for her now, where they do scholarships for women.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, she was really pure. You know, that's the real deal. So,
it was really sad. It was really sad.
Yeah.
We were actually with her at a SEMA dinner about 2 weeks before she passed.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Actually, one of the first car shows that I did, one of my first all female car shows. That was our we sponsored them. So that was who we were trying to help raise money was for their foundation.
Yeah, she was a beautiful soul.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. Sad.
It's like Jesse James, another cool. He was one of the first one with this reality show.
Yeah.
That was some cool, talented guy.
Monster Garage.
Yeah.
Monster Garage.
Yeah.
I know. Yesterday, people were laughing at my antenna topper because
Why?
I found a vintage Pimp My Ride antenna topper, so I put it on my car. So yesterday, people were laughing at
love
that.
it.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was such an interesting time with Boyd Coddington's show.
Yep.
Jesse James, the Pimp My
Pimp My
Ride.
Ride.
There was
West Coast
something for
Customs.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it was really cool. I kind of miss those.
Me too, because it's real people.
Yeah, I mean, Kindig's still doing his thing, and Gas Monkey Garage and all that stuff, and it's just different. I thought it was cool because it was new for its time. You know, so
that's why YouTube is just really where it's at.
Yeah, that's what I saw. But Galpin, again, they took over Pimp My Ride for a period of time, and then they came up with the Car Kings. And it was right at a weird time when COVID thing hit and the production stopped. But, that's why I'm always, Dave, you got to talk to people. Tell them about your stuff, because they love to see how they go over the cars, and when they actually see that, and then they start realizing, wow, what these guys do, it's not all just within half an hour.
Yeah, that's why we would love to have somebody like Dave on the show, because I think there's a lot of people.
Dave,
that
let me get my phone.
Well, here's the thing.
Dave, you cannot drive my Batmobile unless you come.
We don't have a majillion followers and our show. But the thing is that a lot of people don't know his story. They don't know the story of they just know the results of their story, right? They know how big they are, how cool their cars are, but they don't know what goes into it. They don't know the work that it takes to run a company like that. They don't know any of this stuff, and that's stuff that we like to cover, because that's what the world needs to know.
He's a real Detroit guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If people knew that, I think they would have much more newfound respect and maybe a brand loyalty.
They will never be the same again, and they'll be ruined for life, like I am.
We're all about ruining people's life.
I'll tell you this, though. As far as Dave Shutton goes, he is probably the premier, best builder alive right now. Is just amazing.
You guys should see how he just sees through what these real guys are doing. All kind of build. No, he's not passionate to one. I mean, he's respectful of them all. We'll go down there if you want. I mean, his collection, what he does, you should see how his garage is with the memorabilia, the tables he's made, the other stuff, with the guitars he's doing.
Yeah, he's also doing custom paint jobs on guitars for the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
And I would imagine he's got that old school grit and teaching, but he's using probably new technologies, new tools that is available to him. That's what I like, is guys that start with the old school stuff and they developed, and they're like, I'm not going to use any of those 3D printers, or I'm not going to use any of the, but they start using it because it's just another tool for them.
Yeah. Well, he started out as a tool and die maker at GM.
Oh.
So to promote, Speedway, where our Emperor is, aren't they doing
Motor Speedway
doing a tool? Well, they have to work with tools. Yes. They have to do a lot.
Can't give away too much, I guess.
No, it is all about the tools. Even when I was selling those lead paddles, my dad signed their little wood lead paddles. Could you imagine the stuff they were inhaling in those days?
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I think about that when I'm watching a show and I see them taking the torch and doing. I'm like,
or watching even Dave paint and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
or when Winfield used to paint with a dirt garage floor.
Yeah,
and none of them had masks on.
Yeah,
we saw Bill Hines before he passed at his shop. He had probably 500 spray cans
and all those stories are so neat. How my dad, he was handicapped. They just want to work with him. He would light his cigar with his torch. I'm like, blow off your head, Like literally, it was so cool. Uncle Bill Hines. These are the stories, and they didn't work and come to work like, oh, when am I going to get off? They're like, oh, I can't wait to get to work and work for hours because they had to make something happen. But little Bill Hines, he was a handicapped man.
Uncle Bill, a lot of people don't know, he was
his
probably the godfather of lowriders. He created the hydraulics and
chopping the tops. With climbing up on a little ladder or something. Well, look at the amazing builders. Look at, his grandson is building stuff. And Pat Ganal. Oh, Pat Ganal's son. My favorite.
Yeah,
Bill Ganal. Amazing.
Look at all these stories just come up.
I know.
It's just boom, boom, boom. We're going to have to have it like 7 different times just to tell about all these little stories. But that's the cool thing. It's like this network of car guys. And not just like here in Ventura and not just here in California, but all over the country and maybe even all over the world. There's like network. I mean, you probably know hundreds of thousands of people because of your network, right?
Yeah, well, coming in to work with my dad, after my mom died, that was another 15, 16 years. That's when I really learned. And I'm like, why is everybody making a big deal? Certain shows you go to, but then when we'd go to SEMA, that's when I was like, wow, people are really, there's certain places when you get acknowledged, it's like, okay, I can die now. Okay, they really, Well, they're like, oh, Dad, you made it. Okay, you can die now.
we would take George to SEMA, and it would take literally 3 hours to get across one room.
Oh yeah, I bet.
We've been all over the world. I mean, we've seen homeless people and billionaires. They just wanted to touch
just the
this
joy
man.
they bring. It was pure. Like it takes. You watch people go back to a certain one bit of pure joy, like with cars. I mean, cars are extension of such cool stuff. An extension.
Well, and it's interesting because his work was amazing, no doubt about it. But he took it to another level or 2 or 3 because of his marketing skills.
Right.
I mean, people knew who George Barris was.
Well, also, he was smart enough to document everything.
Yeah.
Every build. We have archives of almost everything that he built.
Oh,
well,
wow.
My brother is amazing, artistic, and he took it on in a different way and wrote the King of Car customizing book, 600-page book.
Whoa.
Just in his photos, the stories, beautiful books he has done. And he wants to move up here, I'm hoping. Hey, Brett, you can be on the show. You can be on together, the brother and sister show. Brett and Joji.
That's awesome.
So his book is amazing. In fact, it's sold out. You can't even get it anymore, but 600 pages that really show from the hot rods, all the different stages. Again, he was diverse in life. You got to at least just be a little, always want to learn.
Yeah.
Always just be open to learning something. But so he did an amazing job with those books, and we had years. Luckily, we had that time with my dad. So in life, time is important, and just be present. And I know it can be frustrating sometimes. It was, but then I went, there's a reason why I'm here. So let's write. Let's do it. So
you heard it here first. Brother and sister Barris show.
Right?
Is that where this is where it starts right here.
You know what they call him? They give him shit. Barry Barris. Like, oh, come on. But when we met, it was a kind of a neat story, actually. He went to a charity event that some friends of my dad, they wanted him to speak. And I at that time I was working for him, and I'm a single mom. It's a Friday night, and I don't want to go. And another one of these, Dad, I got to take Dad. And my brother goes, you should go. You might meet somebody. And I'm like, they're all married older people. Okay, it was Toluca Lake Country Club. So here he comes in this customized Prius, and that was another one. Oh, don't let it looked like the Ninja Turtle car. We were so embarrassed every time.
Car, not mine.
He forced us to go in this car. We're like, we don't want to be seen in this car. You're George Barris. Even though it was like, okay, Dad definitely made it look better, but it's like, oh, it's too much, Dad. So we'd go.
Pushed him to his limits.
Yeah, it was like, okay, you're gone beyond your, you're losing something from here to there. Called finishing touches or finishing design. But anyway, so we were like, and you guys, freaking had vertical doors. It was awesome.
Oh,
he tried to like pack in everything he could in this damn.
Wow.
So
Please
he
tell
would
me you have
go.
a picture of that. I have to see this.
Oh, it's crazy. So, anyways, no, that car has ruined me for life. It's given me nightmares. So,
traumatic experience.
So we go to this Toluca Lake Country Club, and he does these 5-minute neat DVDs, and I would have to help him do with the DVD, and he would speak. And here comes these two guys with a picture of this hot rod called it's a T-bucket, Flaky T. And they're like, "Oh, this is our dad's car, and our dad knew your dad." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Okay, get me some champagne."
Was that
Okay.
Was that a pickup line?
Well, she was sitting there grumping. I said, "What do I do to make you happy?"
I got, "Go get me some champagne."
And the bar was closed, so I ended up in the kitchen.
I sound like an alcoholic.
Wait, but your intention was to holler at her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I liked.
Well, I think
Yeah.
at
Oh,
one point, I guess they didn't know I was going to be there. It was like the story was their dad did know my dad in the back in the day, and he had this car built. It was really cool, and they just wanted George to either sign the picture or something, and his brother's wife couldn't come that night, so they sent him. So, it was interesting. So there we are. We go through, and I was like, "Oh, if you want something to do, could you get me a glass of champagne?"
$200 later for one glass of champagne.
Oh, boy.
You always have to talk about the squeaky wallet that never opens. Or like when the check comes, he's like, "Got to go to the bathroom."
But she was worth it.
There you go. Good recovery.
Good answer.
Yes, good answer.
This obviously opens up a door to a question that's going to be a great segue to our next thing that we're going to talk about here. But
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Is that, do you feel it's important, especially being such a car girl yourself, is to be in a relationship with a car person?
You know what? What's really interesting, because I was around a lot of, you hearing people talk, a lot of guys, and it's always a lot of talk, and it's like at this point I'm like, okay, I got my own stuff. I don't need a man because I need a man. I need a real man, to be a partner, to be a partnership and passion. So our first date was interesting. So not only did he have his father with this car, I thought, oh, here's another, whatever, what do you really like?
Yeah.
And for a Jewish guy, I'm like, I'm impressed. Jewish guy, I thought they just go to the deli, I was like,
representing.
isn't that terrible of me? I thought they just go to the deli and have their little holidays. Like, man, he rides motorcycles. He had a freaking Schwarzkopf chopper, motorcycles. He had really cool. He's got a customized caddy, his Chevelle, and when we met, he had this convertible cool BMW, which he happened to peel out at the Toluca Lake Country Club. Yeah, he lit him up, and I'm like, oh, that caught my attention.
300
I never
feet through
told
the
him.
parking lot.
I never
Smoked it
told
out.
him.
I've been there. You must have pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was pissed because she wouldn't pay attention to me.
I went, okay, bye.
He's totally peacocking, and she's not even paying
No,
attention.
right. Yeah, but you actually did win her heart.
Yeah. So then, when he did that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So, but when I realized, like, oh my God, so we did have, especially our motorcycles.
And a pair of Pirelli Zeros.
Yeah. Oh, expensive tires too.
Yeah.
We took
He
a
was
lot of-
really trying to get it.
Yeah.
It worked. It definitely paid off. You're right. It definitely paid off.
Well, yeah, it did. It so that was really nice, and we ended up even our motorcycle passion. We love doing that too. So at that time, I was riding my own. I actually had a big dog chopper. Oh, honey. So yeah, so cute. I'm gonna vomit now. Don't you want to go detail your cars?
I love this. I love the synergy between you two. It's so good.
Notice I'm staying quiet. I just want those two to talk.
I love it.
Keep going.
Sorry, guys.
Keep going.
But I think you're proving our point is that car people should be with car, or people that can at least partner up with another. You might not be a car person, but partner up with somebody you can appreciate that love and that passion together.
Yeah.
Right. That seems really kind of important, and that's kind of a segue into what Christina's doing with the car speed dating event that she's got coming up.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna leave that to Christina.
Yeah, what's the update? Yeah, what's the update?
So we are working with Bright Spark Brewery, which is literally around the corner up here on Market Street, and it looks like October 20th is going to be our first event. So the idea, which was pretty much founded on west of Tulsa, to be honest with you.
You just threw it out there.
You just threw it out there. The idea is to do this little car show in the parking lot and, have friends, family. You don't have to be single. Bring your cars. Talk, mingle.
You don't have to be single?
You don't have, well, for the car show.
Can you be married?
But then we're doing a speed dating inside the brewery with people who are already pre-registered and single and looking for love.
Can the married people watch the single
They
people?
can absolutely watch.
So the family, the family members and
Yeah, can we be like
they can root, they can cheer, they can give their best.
supportive would be supportive.
Yes.
But because it's in October, it's a special time
Yes.
to do this, right?
Yes. So
why is that?
And I can't take the credit, but
Yes, you can.
Gabe had a really great cars and cuffing for cuffing season.
Cuffing. So you're gonna have to
Yes.
explain that
So
because
cuffing season is this term that's thrown around, typically a fall type of thing. And so cuffing is the idea of being in a serious relationship. You're cuffed with this person. That's kind of the terminology behind it. But so cuffing season is kind of something that starts like August.
Can you have furry handcuffs?
Yeah, to each their own, maybe.
Is that pineapple word, honey?
Carbon fiber ones.
But so the cuffing season, the idea of the cuffing season is that it's getting colder, holidays are coming. You want somebody that you can enjoy your time with, cuddle, go to events, and then it typically ends around Valentine's Day, and you hopefully have your person by then. So.
And you're cuffed.
You're cuffed by then, yes. Maybe on Valentine's Day. Who knows?
Will there be actual handcuffs at this event?
Not at the no.
Metaphorically.
By the way, our safe word is pineapple.
Yeah. Is that? Can we do 40 shades of cuffing?
It's too funny. And it's funny. I've actually had people. Actually, yesterday we talked about this a lot. There's a lot of my friends who are single, but maybe not necessarily wanting a serious relationship. So I've told them, okay, well, come and bring your cool car. I will tell other people to come and bring their cool car. You guys can mingle in the parking lot, but you're not allowed inside for the speed dating. So, you never know who you're going to meet in a parking lot somewhere.
Jared? Is Jared watching the show? My son? I need a grandchild. Can we do this in 30 days?
Yeah, and I have had, I'm going through screening right now because obviously you have to have kind of the right age groups to match up.
Nice. Okay.
So people can fill out the screening application that's on the Instagram page.
So for car speed dating, it's for people serious. It's not for Tinder hookups.
Nope.
So that is a prerequisite.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody who's serious about
There's some
finding
filtering.
love.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, you're doing the filtering for a lot of people that we usually figure that out on the first date.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we can be an example. Like we met at come with someone to a car event. Look, this can happen to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they'll be like, we're leaving.
And it would be awesome if you guys wanted to come and bring a car and
well, we're right down the alley.
Street. Yeah, exactly. So
my shop's down the street. We're here. You guys are there. Christina's right down the street too.
I'm right down the street on Goodyear. Yeah.
We're all within stumbling distance from each other.
Yeah.
Well, do you mind? I'm going to call my daughter back and let her know about this.
Yeah. Oh, so Katie's single.
Katie's single.
There we go.
Would she go to that?
Car guys rule.
I don't know. She might.
I have a few friends in their 20s who are looking for love, so
Yeah, she might.
that
I'll bring
might
it
be a
up.
good match for Katie.
Looking for love in all the right places.
Maybe.
And I am only working the event. I'm not participating in the dating part of it. I've already made that very clear to a couple people. A couple people have asked me, but
We want you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a part of it.
I guess it'd be hard to participate and run the event.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, same thing with Melissa. Melissa's going to be on the mic for me, and she's single, but she's not partaking. So
Watch, you two are going to be the two that find it.
They're totally,
Yeah, that's what happens. Always happens that way.
Yep.
They're going to find their Barry doing a burnout in the parking lot.
Yeah.
or I'll be doing the burnout, and everybody will find me.
There's that too. So, anyways, yeah. So I think that's kind of cool.
What is the dates? It better not run in the dates of our thing.
Yeah, October 20th. It's going to be a Sunday. October 20th. It's probably going to be in the early afternoon. just be a couple hour quick little fun get together.
You got to post on a website, or
I will be this week. I'll be posting it officially with all the dates and times and stuff. So
you know what? A lot of girls are having their own cars now, and this would be really. I like it because those other ones are kind of they needed something new. How unique is this? Not only you get something entertaining, and
the good thing is like because I work with a lot of women in motorsports. I have a lot of women who drive. And I know who are single and who aren't. So it's kind of a nice way I can reach out to my friends and be like, come bring your car.
Yes.
If you don't want to do the speed dating, at least come out and show your cars.
Yeah. Sure.
We've had multiple women on the show, including Christina, who have talked about helping women break out of their shell, like with the preconceived things that they fear coming out, with a male-dominated area, about being shy about, self-conscious about maybe their car or them just being a woman with a
driving,
car, getting on the track,
or asking questions.
Yeah.
How about you just go like this?
See, that's why we need more women like you, George.
That's right.
Encouraging that.
That's right.
Examples.
That's right.
Doing it in a much more
I
difficult
love it.
time.
Because that's kind of me. I'm kind of like a little spitfire sometimes, but I have to like kind of bring it down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to intimidate some of the younger
you keep
girls
saying
who are.
You need to bring it down.
I need to
we
bring
want you
it
to bring
down.
it up. Joji wants you to raise it up.
I love it. I love it.
Especially if the guys are 20. This is what I'm saying. We got to lighten everybody up. Sometimes they do get uncomfortable. It gets a little just too serious, even for the guys.
Yeah.
They feel a lot of pressure because women are strong.
Yeah. Oh, you should have seen it yesterday. Yeah. It was so funny because I had my booth at this car show in Oxnard. And all of the women, we probably had at one time 15 women just crowding around the booth because I had my stickers out that I was selling.
The funny ones?
The funny ones. and I sold probably 8 of my My Other Ride Is Your Dad sticker. I sold so many of those. And the girls, like, they just thought it was the coolest thing. A lot of them had never even heard of Miss Motorhead. So they were like, this is so cool. Like, I feel so empowered. Like, really, it was a kind of a big deal yesterday. Cool. It was great.
You should go down to Newport Beach with those stickers. They've got a $10,000 a month with your daddy. So,
I love it.
Yeah, Christina has some that. Well, they're so edgy, they got to put them in the engine bay.
Yeah, I love it. The balls.
Oh, the balls one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave Shooten will love you.
Yeah. Love you. If I had balls, they'd be bigger than yours. That's like the popular one. So,
well, at least they're not hanging low like yours.
Oh my goodness. See, this relationship.
You said we could talk.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right.
I love it.
It's an open invitation. Yeah.
I love it.
When you're married this long, this is what happens. You have to find something interesting to
Well, Barry's still smiling. That's all that matters.
I know.
Because he loves this damn. It's all about, I went to the bathroom today. And why don't you tell him how you wake up in the morning and what you do for your yoga?
Right.
He pretends like he drops something to see if I'm looking.
Deep knee bends and, just to stretch and get moving.
Yeah.
Naked.
Do yoga? For real?
Naked.
No.
That's awesome.
Naked yoga. Wow.
It's called drop something, and he thinks it's yoga.
I'm not trying to stereotype, but I'm painting a picture of the cosmopolitan, the pinky finger,
with
and
the
naked
bending
yoga.
over.
Yoga. He's a modern
Do you
man.
drink a lot of kombucha?
I'm going to have to try the dropping thing at home. Hey, Beth, look.
See, you guys would be great speakers for our speed dating event.
Absolutely. You guys should have speakers at the dating event.
Yeah.
Inspirational
No,
speakers.
really, relationship,
car couples.
Yeah.
Linda, but speak about women though. Linda Vaughn, single. Wouldn't that be cool? If she didn't she just sell her Hearst car, that really cool car?
Yeah.
She's really neat, very inspirational. But for that era, could you imagine the stories and the men that talk about pressure and the racers and just the things with the women and the men, but she really holds hers, and they love her.
Yeah, reminds me of
so
Dan,
iconic.
Dan talking about what's your drag race? Shirley Muldowney.
Oh, Shirley Cha Muldowney.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that movie.
Yeah. And Jungle Pam.
And Jungle Pam, yeah, for sure.
So, but what about our garage sale? That won't affect our. That's the 20th is yours.
Yeah.
And then
when is your garage sale?
26, 27, 9 to 3
Awesome.
Of September or October?
October.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
So even
That
if
works.
you come by and hang out, and you can see him drop something.
I'm gonna bring lots of bolts.
And then don't forget the Ventura Cruisers and Canines car show
October 5th.
October 5th.
That's VPD's doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. There you go.
Ventura,
we have a lot of good friends at VPD. So
we're promo central now, right?
Absolutely.
West of Tulsa is promo central.
We're going to have to create a calendar like that.
But I am
Tulsa
looking
calendar.
for like, I want a hot dog card. I'm like, okay, I want to have like either a taco or a hot dog card.
Get the taco thing going, man.
Yeah, the
People
hot
around
dog
here-
card is not, I can't find it.
Well, there was a hot dog guy yesterday at the car show. So they said he was pretty good.
But in Ventura
It should
and
be
Oxnard,
tacos.
it's the taco guy.
Yeah,
it's
get the
usually
His name is
taco.
literally the Taco Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody hires him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We used him at our AACA, Antique Auto Club.
No, he's called that. That's Danny's Tacos. Danny's Tacos. He's awesome too. But
Yeah, this guy's called the Taco Man, and
Yeah.
there's actually one called the Taco Lady who's just as good too. So
Ooh.
they are literally those people. Like that's their name.
Yeah, I've heard the taco lady.
Maybe we can hook them up. Maybe we can
good.
hook up the taco folks.
Yeah.
I know, right?
At the event.
I know, right?
Yeah, little mini tacos. I don't know.
We should invite both of them as vendors. Collaborate.
So
There
your
you go.
event's like the weekend before SEMA then?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. She's right.
Yeah.
Then we're off to see. Well,
Then off to
SEMA
SEMA.
seems late. It's November 5th.
Through the 9th,
Yeah.
Or
I think we're
8th,
are we
yeah.
going we're going the 6th through the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I
gonna-
usually do Wednesday through Friday, but since I'm doing the women's thing, I have to be there on. Well,
they have a networking thing.
It's
I bet.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think that actually starts Wednesday. I have to be there Tuesday to like get there early and do some stuff. So
Yeah.
it's so busy. It takes a lot of walking.
Yeah, to walk
It's a
around. You
lot
better know where
walking.
you're going. Yeah.
Is there a way for people to find you guys or look you guys up to
That's
find
what I was
more
gonna say,
information
yeah.
About the sale?
Oh
Or
my God. I did hear something like my Google thing is weird, so I've got to fix that. I don't think it has this address. So
You know what we'll do is because this is going to air before.
Yeah, that's gonna.
So we'll
air
put on
in
a link
3
so
weeks.
that-
Oh, I
way.
have flyers for you, or I can email you a flyer.
we will post all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll put that on
We'll
there.
put it.
Oh, thanks, guys. I
Yeah, yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I would love to put that on my page too.
Absolutely.
The Miss
Oh,
Motorhead
awesome.
page.
Yeah, she's got way more followers than we
Yeah.
do. So you know,
Yeah.
she's way more popular.
She's big time. We're not big time.
Yeah,
She is.
yeah.
Tell you, the lowrider stuff is so popular, and there's a lot of women now
Yeah.
with their own.
Yeah, there was a few women
Lowriders.
lowriders
Yeah.
yesterday at the
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
We're actually praying for Richie right now because his daughter, her husband, just was involved with that. What was that shooting? He's the
Bel Air.
fitness influencer, and anyway, so
Well, she's talking about Richie Valles from
Richie Valles.
Unique Twist,
yeah,
the
very
godfather
famous
of
lowriders.
lowrider paints.
Yeah,
Who's
Another
he's
big-
our
great
brother
builder.
from another mother.
maybe we'll get Richie to speak on the podcast. We'll get Richie. Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
We want to do a lowrider show with
We've been talking about that.
And we know how the lowrider guys, they don't come out for anything. They just it's very they'll come out for the National Roadster Show, the lowrider show, but they won't come out to Cars and Coffee. I begged them. Trust me, I've tried.
Right.
You know,
Maybe we'll get Richie. But right now, yeah, we were.
Did you
telling
guys
with
go to
the
Ventura Nationals?
We didn't go this year. We were somewhere else.
yeah.
Yeah. We did have
Paso
another
Robles.
event, but
We were in Paso Robles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
because it was that.
it's Labor Day weekend,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we had already had that planned. And I don't know why we didn't know the dates of that, but it's kind of like those 2 days they pack it in, and it's really
Yeah.
one day at the fairgrounds.
Yes. Yeah.
So I know
We
my
were,
dad
we were
loves-
picking up all our wine orders.
That's much more
from
important.
the pinky to the sippy.
That's more important.
Pinky sippy.
I had to get ready for our
I'm sounding
AA.
boring.
Barry's got the party thing down. I think we're gonna party with Barry.
He's like a Rodney Dangerfield,
Hey, you're okay, huh?
Good imitation.
Hey, it's good to be number one, but don't step in number two, huh? Okay, you're all right.
Well, I hope. Well, we're definitely gonna make it to your guys' event, and hopefully you guys can make it to Christina's event because I would
Yeah.
love to buy you a beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it'd
we
be
could sit
fun.
down.
It
See
would
what
be
kind of-
so much fun.
see what kind of single people we can
What do you
make fun
mean?
of.
Buy him a beer? What about me?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about
Your
the
champagne.
naked
Your
yoga,
champagne.
naked yoga and cosmopolitans.
Pink Cosmos. They can't be. Oh, do you have a hot day?
No, but I do have a doctor's appointment.
No, he has the orthopedic deep tissue, our Rachel massage. So, but it's like a kind of massage that is just painful. It's those orthopedic kind, not the
Not a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The ones they
Not
put
the
their-
happy ones?
They put their
Yeah,
finger,
no happy
they put the
ending.
fingers under your rib cage and it's
yeah.
That
they
doesn't
like go
sound
like-
fun at all.
Yeah, it's not. It's like
You feel it for days, is what it is. Yeah.
it makes me scream, and it's the only other time that that when we have sex is the only other time I scream.
Is that why you still have your voice then? It's been too long.
It's another woman making you scream, Barry.
That was just from all the begging.
I really hope our listeners stay this long. This is the treat. This is the treat for our listeners there.
Yeah, we'll never be invited back.
Don't let Beth listen.
Yeah, she won't let us air it, will she?
Speaking of screaming, it's time to do some house cleaning. Do our chores.
Oh, boy. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. All right. Like, follow, subscribe. We have our YouTube
channel.
Thank you. See, he nails it every time now.
Yeah.
He used to fuck it up all the time. But now all right. We also have our website, westofTulsa.com. Go to the tip line page. Fill it out. We'd love to have you here in studio. And
don't forget to sub.
Yeah, subscribe.
Oh, this?
Gabe made us a cool new
I saw
banner.
that.
Yeah.
Actually, I was pointing too high before you guys
point down at your crotch. We're going to put it where your crotch is.
We want to gain subscribers, not lose them.
Subscribe. Here's the button right here. Subscribe. All right. Yeah, and if we're not talking about the right stuff, send us a note on the tip line page. We'd love to hear from you. All right. That was a fun one.
Oh, it was. Good episode.
Good.
Thank you both for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
We just love being here. So
we will have you on again. You guys are locals.
Oh, God.
You guys are going to be on again.
And next time we'll put an X-rated on it.
And we'll have the Cosmopolitan ready.
That's right.
Yeah, we'll make sure Barry wears looser pants.
And we'll have mirrors on the floor.
Yeah.
Just remember
Sometimes
this.
his pants fall down. He blames it like, oh, they're too big.
Just remember this. Barris Custom Rules.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you west of Tulsa.